Welcome to Practical Tactical, and today we'll be taking our second look at the Bushmaster ACR DMR rifle, chambered in 223 Remington or 5.56 by 45. The focus of this review will be on accuracy and reliability. Since the ACR DMR is produced with a 1 in 7 barrel twist rate, which is ideal for heavy bullets, we did no accuracy testing with 55 grain bullets. Instead, we focused on bullet weights that would be appropriate for the 1 in 7 barrel twist rate. We started with the 69 grain Sierra hollow point boat tail Match King, with an overall length of 0.895 inches and a ballistic coefficient of 0.301. And then went on to test the Sierra 77 grain tipped Match King with an overall length of 1.071 inches and a ballistic coefficient of 0.420. And finally, the Sierra 77 grain hollow point boat tail Match King with an overall length of 0.996 inches and a ballistic coefficient of 0.372. Our feeling is that if a 1 in 7 barrel twist doesn't shoot well with one of these bullets, the rifle is cursed. So let's start by taking a closer look at the bullets we're testing and discuss the realities of our ammunition strategy. Since the 69 grain bullet is the shortest of the three, a round loaded to the maximum overall length that will reliably feed in a magazine will have the greatest area inside the case. For this reason, we can expect the highest velocities with this bullet. Of the other two, both weighing the same 77 grains, the 77 grain hollow point boat tail is the shorter of the two, and for this reason could be loaded to run at higher velocities than the tipped Match King. But since the tipped version also has the highest BC, it will still have the highest velocity at extended ranges. Our goal at this point, however, is to establish an accuracy baseline at 100 yards. My accuracy testing started with the 69 grain bullet with Winchester 748 ball powder. I fully expected this to produce good groups close to 1 minute of angle. Well, that was not the case. Group sizes were usually 3.5 to 4.5 inches at 100 yards. I was not a happy camper. This is the same load that produced 3/4 inch groups at the same distance from my Colt AR-15A2 Delta H bar with a 1 in 7 twist. For a rifle to shoot this badly, something had to be wrong somewhere. So I started with a look at the rifling. With 4.5 inch groups, I was expecting to find rifling that looked like it was made with a chisel, but that was not the case. I mean, look at this. The rifling is nice, clean, and smooth. How can rifling this nice on a heavy barrel shoot so badly? I started to think about reciprocating mass. I mean, the bolt is heavier than an AR-15, plus the weight of the piston. Maybe the force is transferring downward from the force applied to the barrel through the gas system. So, off to the range. I shot this group with the gas system turned off. Still, accuracy was about the same.
4.434.
Bad. Okay, so that's not it. So now I'm looking at the quick change barrel system. I mean, how well can you hold a barrel straight and still be able to swap it out easily? So I looked at the barrel nut, the trunnion I think they call it. The lever limits the amount of force you can apply to the nut. Maybe it's not long enough and strong enough to apply enough force to hold the barrel straight. So how do I get the nut just a little bit tighter? Okay, I have an idea. Out comes the plastic mallet. I held the rifle and tightened the barrel nut lever as firmly as I could, and I got my daughter to tap as hard as she would dare on the barrel nut. Maybe together we could get it just a little bit tighter. Back to the range. And bingo, 2-inch group.
1.780 by 2.483.
Maybe there's hope.
One flyer kind of ruined the whole group.
About a week later, the 77 grain tipped Match Kings I ordered finally arrived, so off to the range with these babies. I tested 3 5-round groups using Federal cases with loads 1 grain apart and Varget powder. The late load had one flyer that brought the group to about 2 inches. but the other 4 rounds were looking like it might have been a nice group. Up a grain with the next group and 1.1 inches. Up another grain and wow, 0.73 inch 5-round group. The next week, my 77 grain hollow point boat tail Match Kings finally arrived. These are really the bullets I'm banking on for this rifle. When I went to the range to test these bullets, I'm sorry but I screwed up and I forgot my sandbags. I had to shoot from a cobbled up rear support consisting of a folded towel on top of a roll of masking tape. It was about the best I could do with what I had, and I did feel that I had a good hold and I was breaking off the shots clean, so the data is valid. This time I was running IVI cases, which are a little heavier than the Federal cases I used on the TMK loads, so the loads ran a little on the hot side. It looks as though the heavier cases produced best groups with the lightest powder charge I tested. On that day, the lightest load I tested produced a 5-round group of 1.08 inches at 100 yards. After all this, I'm still not quite certain what to conclude about the accuracy of this rifle, because it sometimes produces groups around 1 inch during load development, but when I go back and shoot the same load some more, the group seems to somehow find 2 inches again. So far, I have not been able to get this rifle to consistently hold any better than that, for 5 or 10 round groups, without a flyer in there somewhere to spoil what might otherwise be a pretty good group. Maybe in time I'll find the secret. At the moment, I have a feeling the problem lies in the barrel nut, applying uneven pressure against the barrel flange. I'd like to find a way to incorporate a spherical washer set to address that concern. As for reliability, after firing a variety of loads, including military SS-109 ammunition and hand loads with Varget and 748 ball powder, I have had no operational failures, so this rifle certainly has that going for it. I do have a replacement forend and buttstock on order, and I'll be taking a look at that in another video. This is Practical Tactical, and thank you for watching.
Don't forget to subscribe.